Okay. The thing, like, disconnected for a second, I don't know. Anyway, hello and welcome to the final round of Player's Voice. It's been a few hours since I last checked it, but can I just have a little rant about something? So, on a real note, so I want to talk about something just real quick. So, wait, hold on. Well, I did say other stuff in the stream's title, something extra. Uh, when it, I would have thought the third round of voting would have started right now. Or at 9 or something. Hold on. Because I know I'm not hallucinating. What? I'm gonna check on Twitter real quick and see if people are talking about it. Um. Oh. I'm an idiot. I thought the third round of voting was tonight. It's Monday. At least I could view the categories, I guess? No? Okay, well, I can tell you this. So, the thing I was gonna rant about is, so, the first night of voting, Sonic Frontiers was at the upper part of the list, and it eventually made it up to the top. Seems normal, alright? That is until you realize that the near bottom of the list, it was Genshin Impact. Now, I will admit, Genshin Impact is a really good game. I'm not denying that. I'm not knocking the developers. And I'm certainly not going to knock them for them promoting, their whole Primogem, whatever it is, for voting. Should it end up winning. I'm not going to knock them for that because that's just their way of promoting the game, getting the word out, letting people know that, hey, we want our game to do well on these votes, so do your best. What I have a problem with is when people go out of their way to fabricate the votes by botting. If you don't know what botting is, then you don't know what hell on earth is. So, botting, for a best case example, or worst case, you remember in 2020 when people couldn't really get the PS5 because of the bots, and that also affected a whole lot of other stuff, so really the only thing that could be considered, obtainable would be the Quest 2, which I got a year after it came out. Actually, it'll be a whole year since I've had it this month. But that's besides the point. In this particular case, these bots inflated the votes that Genshin Impact got to where it was in the lead. And it happened overnight. It happened overnight. There were many people I've seen on Twitter even discussing this. They said so themselves, that they saw people in Discord and on Reddit saying, hey, we're just gonna bot this to make it to where this game will unfairly win. Bear in mind that the games on this player's voice thing, they're all predominantly games that came out this year. I'm going to repeat that. Games that came out this year. The two games that did not come out this year were Minecraft and Genshin Impact. Because Genshin Impact, I believe, first came out in 2018 for China, I think. Maybe? Hold on. When did Genshin Impact come out? Yeah, so it, yeah, came out 2020. I thought it was 2018, but I think that was whenever it was announced. I think, oh no, 2017, yeah. But, here's the thing. Again, I'm not knocking this game. This game is great. I played it myself. I don't have it on my PS5, but I did play it for a little while. I don't hate it. It's just I wanted to play some other games, and I wanted to, yeah. But that's not to say I'm hating on the game. What I have a problem with is when people fabricate votes with bots to the point where it's like getting an unfair advantage because of that. So, Minecraft, like, another thing that doesn't make sense, because, again, just to reiterate, all the other games on that list were all games from this year. So, you know, like, God of War, Horizon, Elden Ring, stuff like that. But then we had those two outliers that were from years ago, like, Genshin Impact came out 2020, and then we have Minecraft, which came out 2009. So I don't get how that's included. But for people to bot votes to give the game an unfair advantage, I hope they investigate that, because that ain't cool. But I'm happy to confirm that a certain blue hedgehog was able to outpace them, and now I can say, I'm here, reaching far across these new fronts. I'm sorry, but yes, it is back on top. Again, I checked a few hours ago before voting closed, and it was still at the top. The game underneath that was then Elden Ring, but please don't bot votes, please. Because if you're going to give a game an unfair advantage like that, then you're a scumbag. Anyway, how about we get to the other subject at hand? This. Been a while, huh? Well, it's funny that I mentioned EUIPO because some stuff came up. I just so happen to have come across this because occasionally I'll visit this website and check in on the PlayStation Home trademarks they have on here, because I want to see what evidence I can gather. And boy howdy did I find some. And it was recent, like a few days ago recent. So, I'm impressive at how fast I could type. It wasn't this trademark, though, because this trademark was last updated September. What we're looking at is the logos. More specifically, the logo that has the home name underneath it. So, you're probably wondering, oh god, there he is, grasping at straws again. How many straws are you gonna grasp at? As many as it takes. For you see, look at this. November 29th, November 30th. Within a day of each other. Now, I get that it's just information to proprietors of earlier trademark registrations and applications, but here's the thing to consider. It's been theorized by several people, or quite a lot of people actually, that Home is most likely going to make a return. And considering the capabilities on the PS5, you know, the near instantaneous load times, the incredible level of detail that you could get from the games, all the other stuff, that right there is solidified proof that a modern day version of PlayStation Home will work brilliantly. You got the instantaneous load times, or near instantaneous, meaning that you could be in a personal space of yours in one moment, and then it only takes like 3 seconds to go from there to a public space like the hub or something along those lines. But something else to keep in mind is that anytime I look at this, I keep thinking, well, I think what it is just PlayStation London studio or the developer is working on PlayStation Home, likely giving them a progress report of what it's going to be, how it's looking, when it's expected to be ready for the public, and all that other stuff. But I just find it really peculiar that these two happen within a day of each other. Literally the week before Game Awards. Really makes you think. Anyway, I'm just, yeah. Another thing to keep in mind is that we did not have a PlayStation event this year. We were expecting an event to happen first in sometime in August, but that never happened because of the numerous events going on at that time. September came and went, same issue. October, nothing. Last month, nothing. Which makes sense because, you know, you got God of War and all that other stuff. But then we have December. Now, of course, we aren't going to get an event this month. But the thing about the Game Awards is it's not just about the awards themselves, which, speaking of the Game Awards, I have something really special to show you in a moment. But the other thing that makes the Game Awards notable is the announcements. Now, these could be updates to games that are already out. They could be, you know, anything, really. Because we all remember in 2019, which was actually my first year doing live coverage of the Game Awards, that was when we saw the Xbox Series X. Otherwise known as glorified cinder block. 2020, a year that we all desperately want to forget, even though it did have a few smidges of goodness. I mean, we got new consoles, we got a new standalone headset, we got depression. Yeah. Last year, though, was significantly better. Not much better, but it was definitely it was a year. This year was, an emotional roller coaster, I'll say that much. Let's see. Well, I turned 25, so I guess that's a positive part to the roller coaster. But then we had the attacks on Ukraine. I could keep going. we had... Actually... Oh, yeah. So, just before school let out for the summer, there was a shooting in Uvalde, Texas. I don't live near there, by the way, but it was really tragic to hear about that. And there's been some other bad things. Oh, we finally got the sentencing for the shooter from that Stone Douglas shooting. It wasn't a death sentence like we all hoped it would be, because it was more than valid that he would get it, but he ended up getting life. Somehow. Let's see. Oh yeah, Horizon Forbidden West came out. God of War came out. Last of Us Part 2 came out. Wait, no, Part 1. Part 2 is 2020. Oh yeah, and my current favorite game for the year. Say what you will, but this game is freaking incredible. But, with that being said, we've also got some other things, such as the PlayStation 5's price being increased in other territories, except the US, because the US dollar is the strongest. I'm not trying to excuse that. I'm not going to rag on Sony for that, because it was logistical reasons. It was because of production costs and everything, because they wanted to break even. So the only way for them to do that is by increasing the price of the console by what is roughly the equivalent of $50 US. So if that were to have happened to us, it would be $550. But it didn't happen to us, so count your blessings, I guess. But yeah, so we got the unveiling of the PSVR 2 and other stuff, which it's scheduled to come out, I think February next year, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we've had some other events like, Summer Game Fest. We had Gamescom. We had these other events, but you know what? The one event that I can always look forward to at the end of the year is undoubtedly the Game Awards. So, I don't know what to expect from both the awards side and the announcement side, because we could get anything. I mean, last year we got 2 different Sonic things, which are the movie, fantastic by the way, and Frontiers, which we were all skeptical of, but then over time we kind of built our trust in the game, and then came out and people absolutely freaking love it, I myself included. But I can't help but feel that this year's Game Awards, in terms of announcements alone, is going to be extra special. I don't know why, I just can't shake the feeling. Because Jeff literally said in an interview, I'm gonna pull this back up. Yeah. Between 30 and 40 announcements. So, I will say some of the announcements have been hit or miss. But I always have loved watching these events. Every single time I watch this event, I come away, feeling excited, because for one, I feel happy for the companies who have earned the rewards, even though sometimes they don't feel deserved. We all know about 2016. Doom should have won that, not some friggin' toxic cesspool of, I want to be Tracer, I want to be May. I'm just gonna block people in the spawn room with May's ice wall. Over a game that has a pretty good narrative. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so a fair number of new game announcements. you know what? For some reason, I thought that said it was delayed. And I was like, oh god, am I going to have to wait until January or something? No. The Game Awards, as is tradition, are always in December. Always in December. And I gotta say, I'm pretty damn excited. But he says that there's a fair number of new game announcements, some new content, really strong lineup of announcements and content. The good thing is there hasn't been anything leaked yet. I'm hoping that it stays that way because I want to be surprised by this. I don't want to be, disappointed after seeing a spoiler and being like, oh, okay, that's it. But, you know what? I know I keep saying this for every single big event that Sony happens to be potentially a part of. Please let PlayStation Home come back. Please! I know it's probably not going to be likely, but Well, actually, it is kind of likely, because we have PSVR 2. I haven't ordered it, but I plan on getting it at some point. Maybe. Because I already have one VR headset. Might as well get two. But at the very least, if it's not on VR, then PS5. It's obvious it would work on PS5. And please let it have functionality with PlayStation Stars. Because they did say that they would plan on bringing Stars to consoles. The digital collectibles would be perfect for PlayStation Home. You could have them strewn about your apartment to show people what you've done in your games. That would be amazing! But anyway, so there have been some subtle teases. So NetherRealm is working on a new game, but it won't be shown at the event. Tekken 8 will probably get a release date or a release window. Wumpa League, I don't know what that is. There's that. Anyway, so I will say this. No matter what happens with this event, I hope everything is as good as we hope it to be. Because I've been disappointed and I've also been surprised by the Game Awards. I'm hoping that this will surprise me a lot. Because I want this to be the event that I'll be thinking about for a long time. But I'm hoping by some miracle that if Sony does have some stuff to announce and show off, please let one of those be PlayStation Home. We've waited long enough. If you remember, I wasn't there from the launch of PlayStation Home back in 2008 because I didn't have a PS3 at the time. I was 10. Wait, no. Why did I say that? No. I was 11, not 10. I was 10 in 2007. Anyway, so, Home came out 2 years after the PS3 came out. Wouldn't it be kind of a coincidence if Home gets announced at the Game Awards and it comes out at the same time? 2 years after the PS5 has come out? By the way, happy belated birthday, Mirai. I named my console Mirai. I know, I'm a geek. Anyway, as we start to close out the stream, I finally wanted to show off what I got for my drinks. So, I think it was last night I was doing a stream, and I was talking about what drinks I was going to get for the Game Awards. I initially thought about just having it just simple with two. You know, white and red grape. But then I thought of something. So I mentioned in that stream that I would be swapping between the two different grape flavors for the awards. That way I could prolong how much I would have left. And so that way, one award I would drink red, another award and it would be, flip-flopping. In between each award I would flip-flop. But then I thought about something. What about the announcements? Well, I think it's about time I showed them. First, I'm going to grab out the two awards drinks. Yeah! And now, we'll feast your eyes on cider. Yes, I got a cider. Okay, so, you're probably wondering, how did this whole tradition of you doing these drinks start anyway? Started in 2019. I had my PC for half a year at this point, or 7 months, I mean. And, I was already thinking about doing live coverage of the Game Awards, and what had ended up happening was I told my papa about it, said I was going to be doing something special, live streaming my reaction to it, and I explained my own plans, and he was on board with getting me what I needed. We later that day went to, wait, no, not that day, I think it was like the day before the event, or it was a little while before the event. It might have been either the day of or the day before, but we went to Target. I got a few snacks as well, because I am technically allowed to eat in my room just so as long as I'm careful and clean up after myself, which I do. But the drinks I got at that time were somewhat similar to what I have now, with the red and white grape. The only difference is the rosé. Yes, that was the drink that I chose as the third drink, and the reason being was, and I mentioned this in my stream from last night, it's simply because I knew that Fortnite was going to be getting awards out the wazoo. Like, it was nominated in... Oh, okay. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm really excited for Chapter 4 coming out tomorrow, which is really cool. I think 2020, I forgot what I got in 2020. Yeah, I don't remember. 2021, I think I just kept it simple with 2. But what I'm doing this year is similar to when I first did my live coverage of the Game Awards. How I'll have red and white grape. Only, here's how I did the drinks that first year. The white grape was reserved for announcements. The red grape, because of it being red, and red is, I guess, a prettier color. It was reserved for every award, not just the big ones, the small ones. I quickly ran out. The rosé, of course, Fortnite, but I used the rosé in replacement of the red after I drank through it. And back then, I didn't have my wine glasses, and my mama ended up getting me. I think it was a year or so after. I think it was 2020. I don't remember. Because she knew I liked sparkling juice, even though I get it occasionally just for stuff like this. So yeah. But what I'm doing this year, however, is red and white grape are going to be for the awards, but I'll be switching between the two in between each award. So, say there's one award for best soundtrack, and I'll do white, and then another one is like best ongoing, you know. But again, the cider is specifically meant for the announcements. Now what I try to do is I try to gauge how much I pour into my glasses to make sure I don't pour too much or else I'll run out. So, yeah, just be aware of that. It's not going to be perfect, but I'll try my best to prolong how much I have. That way I could have a little bit of sips after I'm done. But, in any case, I think that'll be the end for this stream. I'm sorry I wasn't able to do voting. I thought that they were going to do the third round tonight. I was mistaken. I will do it for real Monday. It's just I misinterpreted what it meant, so I apologize. But yeah. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching anyway. I hope you'll understand that I didn't realize that it was counting down to when voting would close and not the next round. So, yeah, Monday is going to be the next stream. And then I'm going to be taking Tuesday and Wednesday off. Actually, no. I'm going to be doing a stream on Wednesday to speculate on what I hope we'll see at the Game Awards. In terms of, like, announcements and stuff. And what I hope will win or what I think will win. All that stuff. And then Thursday at 6:30, yes, I'll be starting my stream way earlier than usual at 6:30. I hope everything goes well. It should go well, but you're going to be seeing the biggest night in gaming again. And I'm personally really excited to cover this yet again. I'm not an official co-streamer, I should say this, but they do encourage it. They do encourage people to live stream their own reactions, even if you're not officially signed in for it. And the good thing is, the reason why is because the music they have during it is set to where, even if it's like copyrighted material, you won't get much trouble. Although I will admit last year I had like a copyright claim, not a copyright takedown, but a copyright claim from I forgot who, but it was because of the Matrix thing, which again, that was out of my control, alright? Just like with that copyright takedown thing I got, which I'm just going to wait it through. But yeah, anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all Monday for my actual voting for the final round of Player Voice. Again, very sorry for the potentially misleading title. That was not entirely my fault. I didn't realize that the voting was going to close. I just thought it would automatically advance to the third round. I was mistaken, so I'm not trying to make up a lie. But I will be voting for real Monday. But, see you later. Good night. And I hope you're all doing well.